The Boston Symphony has so much history and tradition. History of music directors, of musicians, Tanglewood. I think that makes it special. You know, not to mention my amazing colleagues today, now, in the modern era. I just think that they're just good people in addition to being amazing musicians. Tanglewood is a special place. It's a magical place. A lot of my experience there I can't even put into words. Feelings is really what it is. I feel a closeness to that area and to the grounds, to the performing venues, and thereby a closeness to the Boston Symphony and its history. When I was a student there, that was the first time I was exposed to working with some of the greatest musicians in the world. Conductors, soloists, other artists, obviously the members of the Boston Symphony Orchestra. That was my first experience with them too. And so it introduced me to this whole sort of mystical realm that is Tanglewood and the Boston Symphony Orchestra in such a way that it felt like home and it feels like family now. I studied with Tom Rolfes and Ben Wright and Peter Chapman, the former second trumpet player of the Boston Symphony Orchestra, when I was at Tanglewood. And I guess I've known them all for, 4 years now. I remember my first session with Tom, and I was so nervous, and I was almost late. I took a wrong turn in my car on the way to the West Barn, and I showed up. I didn't know how to get there. I showed up about 2 minutes before the session started, and of course I was losing it. I thought, oh my gosh, you know, I'm going to be in trouble. He's gonna yell at me for being late, and thank goodness he was just showing up too. And I went up to him, I said, oh, it's so nice to meet you, and I'm so sorry I'm late. And he just kind of gave me this blank stare. He said, well, I just got here. And that was it, and I walked inside, and I was relieved, but also sort of, okay, Tom, take it easy, you know, so. The Arnold Jacobs method, the Chicago school of trumpet thinking, trumpet playing, it isn't just power. It isn't just strength. It's not all about blowing out the back doors. It's also about the ease and the speed of the air, which then, for us, especially here in the Boston Symphony Orchestra, translates into such a relaxed approach that we're able kind of easily to play extremely softly. As long as the air is still moving quickly, as long as you're still relaxed, that you can just, this little column of fast-moving air becomes pianissimo. Fortunately, we're lucky that Symphony Hall itself helps us out with that and sort of takes that sound and sort of wraps it up and presents it to the audience in a really elegant way. The Boston Symphony trumpet section is unique in that a lot of times, actually over the history, that members of the section will move to different parts. And I really think that goes back to tradition and sound. And once you are sort of trained in that and well-versed in the Boston sound, in Symphony Hall, it makes it much easier to then keep going. And it teaches you, it's almost like the hall teaches you how to play the trumpet. Of course, I can't speak to other orchestras and other halls, but I really feel that way about ours. Because the way I played before I got here and the way I play now is very different. You know, I frankly can't imagine playing another way after having been here. The trumpet section here in the BSO does get along really, really well. And I think that is rather unique. I can say that Mike Martin, our fourth utility trumpet player, and I were at Tanglewood Music Center together in 2008. And we've been really great friends ever since. And, you know, in the same way, as we were students of Ben and Tom at the TMC, now that we're working with them, it's been a really easy and fantastic transition to being colleagues, you know, from being their students. And we hang out We go out after concerts sometimes, go to see movies, you know, we hang out with each other's families. So I feel incredibly fortunate that we all like each other, get along, we can talk to each other. That just makes everything easier, and I think it makes us sound better. This season is really exciting. All the seasons at the Boston Symphony Orchestra are, and this one has some really interesting stuff on it. Just off the top of my head, in the spring, we're doing Hindemith Concertmusik for strings and brass with Raphael Frubeck de Burgos. I'm really looking forward to that. A few weeks later, we're doing Mahler's Third Symphony with Daniel Gatti, and also with Daniel Gatti, we're doing an all Wagner concert, which I'm not sure how much this orchestra historically has played Wagner. I'm not sure it's that much, but I know that the times so far since I've been here that we've played it, I think we play it extremely well.